some movement over the
It's
years.
just fatigue from moving
And
up and
just,
down.
just fatigue, but because like I say, everything that came out of the hole was clay. So,
Okay.
other than that, just, plowing.
Yeah.
And, seems to be a little bit of that this year. And, 2 equipment malfunctions, but one is back in service and one will be in service tomorrow.
So what broke?
Front plows, we had a plow mount on the older 550 go yesterday, and we were able to fix that. And the new 550, the front plow, lost trip edge spring, and then another one, and then they're like dominoes. Once you lose one, you keep losing the others. So all those be replaced tomorrow.
Okay.
We'll be back to full capacity. Well 4 project,
Yeah.
is going well. And I think Sharon said no pun intended, but, it's going pretty good. If you get a chance, stop in. It's work in progress, but, at least now everything is kind of there and you can see what it is going to end up as.
Yeah.
So, feel free to pop in.
Okay. Great. Any other questions for public works or public safety?
No.
No? All right, great. Thanks very much. All right, calendar review.
Next meeting is currently scheduled for February 8th. As I wrote in the memo here, we can either meet at 5 or 5:30 prior to the public hearing on the budget, which starts at 6 p.m.
Is it 6 or 6:50?
6. The school is at,
the budget hearing in town hall or?
no, it's at the school at the rec department multipurpose room.
Okay.
So we can have the meeting over there if you'd like.
Yep. That works for me.
And we ought to give ourselves at least an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
5
5 o'clock, 5 o'clock on the 8th. Bill?
Okay with you? Bill?
Do you think an hour is enough?
Oh, no, this is for the meeting prior to the budget hearing.
Selecting a regular selectmen's meeting,
Regular
right?
selectmen's meeting, yeah.
Well, that gives you 1 hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think if, what we can do is have the selectmen's meeting for that hour, have the budget hearing, and then after the budget hearing, if you could review and vote on the budget to move it ahead to the warrant, that would be the time when we would sign the warrant, so you don't have to come back in,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
Fine with me.
Any other issues as far as calendar coming up after the 8th?
The planning board is the 9th, and then your next meeting after that is scheduled for February 22nd. We'll talk about the dog thing when we get to it.
Okay. All right, and is that February 22nd meeting, is that during the school vacation week?
It's during the New Hampshire
Is
one?
it Mass or New Hampshire?
Mass or New
I
Hampshire?
think that's Mass.
Mass.
That's
Yeah.
Massachusetts.
Could we get some notice out to property owners that there's a selectmen's meeting that day?
Sure.
Just to let them know that if they are up here, it's something they could avail themselves of?
Okay. We'll do an email blast to our list, and
Yeah.
we'll do Brooks' list too, just
And
to
maybe
get it
get
to
it
property
to,
owners.
get it to Jan as well.
Yeah. Okay,
I think that would be a good way
that's
for
a
us to
good idea.
get more people involved in, especially with town meeting coming up.
Right.
All right, great. All right, so as we move on now to new business, I'm gonna open a public hearing for the fee schedule changes that we are considering.
Right.
Now, is there anyone here who would like to speak to that point? Well, I had one question on this,
Okay,
that while Chris is here. Chris, special police service at $65 an hour. Does that cover us with everything that's included in what an officer takes home?
Yes.
With special and all the retirement and
Yes. Well,
statutory?
retirement, it's not, retirement doesn't come out of that. It covers, like,
Okay,
make
But it's a wash, it's not costing us anything.
No, we're actually.
We're making,
Okay, I just wanted to be
It's an
sure,
income.
I just wanted to be sure of that,
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure.
And are we still competitive with other towns?
Yeah, and
Here.
that's why there was that substantial raise last year,
Yeah.
that jump last
we went
year.
from 40 to 65.
Bill, did you get a chance to review this list?
I did.
Did you have any questions or comments?
No, if someone would point out the ones that have significantly changed, or proposed to be changed,
The,
is it just the ones in black that are bold?
Right.
at
The bold
bottom?
one.
yes, the bold
Yes.
ones, Bill. The foreign check fee, the return check,
All the
ACH.
others are staying the same.
yes.
Okay, well, I guess if there are no other comments for the, all right, there is.
You know, I just have one question. I mean, what? You have one foreign check fee for Canadian checks and another one for non-Canadian?
We are charged,
I'm
we are,
okay with that, but it seems to me it's, you know, a foreign check is a foreign check.
no, we're charged we can make them both $40, but,
That's the way the bank.
the bank is charging us the difference
They
between the
actually charge a
Canadian,
different rate.
yeah,
Okay.
Okay, Margaret?
Nope, I don't know.
All right, so I will call this,
or close the public hearing.
close the public hearing, and we will, see if we can entertain a motion to approve the new fee schedule.
I will make a motion to approve the new fee schedule.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just a point here, Judy just corrected me, retirement does come out of there for some officers.
Yeah.
Some of, yeah.
The newer officers, it does not, just because of changes in the retirement program.
But we're still clearing it,
So it still has plenty of clearance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good, all right, thank you. All right, we will move on now to the New Hampshire Department of Revenue Equalization Study.
Yeah, this is, I briefed you a couple of meetings ago about, thank you, Chris, about the ratio study results, and this is just the official notice of it.
Right.
So I just wanted to make sure it was on the record. So our ratio this year that we will be giving out on the phone or talking to people about is the 93.1. That's the
Right.
median. And that is the one that we use, the assessors use, like when we get an abatement or whatever, they would apply that ratio to the property in the determination of the fair market value.
And this is still within the norm for the state, but we are just at the time of the
That-
5 years where we
that's
have
right.
to do the reevaluation.
That's right, we're allowed to be between 90 and 110.
Right.
And so we fall within that, but we've reached the 5 year.
And is this an indication that our property is undervalued at this time?
Yes, it's by the 6.9%.
Okay.
Under or over? That's my question again with the 93%. That means we're
This is saying,
undervalued by 6%?
this is saying that properties are selling at 93% of their assessed value, or are they
Yeah,
selling at
or is the
107%?
properties are, that's my question.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the map again.
We are undervalued by the 6.9%. So if our ratio was 105, then all properties theoretically would be 5% over what the fair market value is.
It would be assessed.
They would be assessed 5% above the fair market value.
Right.
Isn't that right?
The sale price would be
If the s-
5% higher than the assessed value for it to be 105%.
That's right.
For it to be 93%, the sale price.
That's right. So, yes, so
The
we have
assessed value is-
overvalued, yes.
Our properties
Our
are
properties are
overvalued.
overvalued by the 6.9%. That's right. Yes. So we would expect if
Are
we did this,
overvalued.
that's
Right.
correct,
Under-
overvalued,
Overvalued.
yes.
So
Okay.
93% represents a lower price than the fair market value that
The
properties are
assessment,
selling at,
The assessment.
no, the assessment,
than the assessed
If the
value.
assessment is $100,000, our properties are selling for $93,700.
Okay,
So it would suggest that if this ratio holds true, that when we're done with the full assessment,
it'll go down.
the total value of all the assessed property in the town is likely to decline.
Decline
Yes.
by the 6.9%, yes.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, the draft of the budget hearing slides. Now, you were asking on page 3, slide number 5.
Yeah, there is a slide, the 5th slide, it's on page number 3. Last year, we highlighted 2 items that were major impacts, and they were personnel. One of them was personnel related, and the other, I believe, was capital or something. There were 2 items that we had on there that we don't need this slide if you don't want it, but if we're gonna have it, what are the things you would like me to highlight?
well, what were the things that had
Well,
the biggest
we've
impact?
got the revaluation, that's $31,000. We've got
The retirement.
the property liability and workers' comp.
Right.
That's like $40,000 or $50,000. So those are
Those are the
probably
biggest
the
ones,
2 big ticket items.
plus what happened to the retired, I think it's worth mentioning, and maybe you do later
Yes,
on
we do.
anyway, the retirement and,
Right.
But that-
benefits go up.
That's right, but that's not a huge number in
But it's a
terms of
huge
a single.
percentage-wise. it's a huge
Percentage-wise,
number, but dollar-wise, it's
That's
not.
right.
Dollar-wise, it's
And I don't
not.
think we have any numbers that are huge dollar-wise
No,
this year.
Well, the huge dollar-wise one is the decline in interest and
mhm,
principal
yeah.
payments,
Good point.
and I would list that.
okay. All right,
There's nothing else in the budget, even though it's a small dollar item. We got into this discussion last time that we're going to, the 10,000 for the party is in special, right, that's
yeah,
a warrant article.
mhm.
Is there anything else, I thought there was another item last time we were talking about that we were putting in the budget, but someone suggested maybe people ought to know that we were putting it in the budget. What was that? It was the money for, the planning board.
Yes,
Oh, the 10,000 for the planning board.
yeah,
I think we should list it because, it's not a big impact, but it is different. It's a change compared to things we've done in the past. That we're allowing $10,000 for the planning board to do its thing.
well, what if I changed the title of that slide then to budget changes? Or,
Fine with me.
key budget changes or
Yes.
something like that?
Budget changes or
Okay.
something.
All right, so, and then I can include the planning board,
Right.
$10,000. I'll mention the reval project,
Mhm.
um,
And the insurance.
and the
And the
insurance.
insurance.
Okay, so those will be the 4 things on there. And then I'm not gonna really talk, at that time, they're highlighted later in the slides, so I'm not gonna spend a lot of time at the hearing at that time with them, but, okay. Yep. And then,
Let me go, if I go back to slide 2,
mhm,
right? It's saying that the operating budget is increasing by $145,000.
yes,
And included in that is about $150,000 reduction,
Right.
right? In,
Debt
in
service.
principal and interest payments, which means that cash for other things
no,
that we're spending
it-
money on is going up by 300.
that's right,
Right.
Yeah.
Have we really categorized where that 300 is?
yep. I can get you a sheet that lists all of that out.
I think I would
Mhm.
and then take a look at that and decide if any of those items need to be on your list of changes.
Right. I will list those out and email them to you.
Well, okay.
Margaret, anything? All right, I think the slides are okay. All right,
And then, okay, so all the other slides are all right, so we don't,
Yeah.
all right.
okay. Do we wanna go on to town manager goals and objectives, or do you wanna hold that to the end?
Whatever you wanna do, I'm
Okay.
fine talking about them now, it's,
Right.
Do you, are you interested in having the auditor come down and talk to you? He is here, he's in his first day of field work.
Yeah.
But if there's anything that you wanna ask him about or have him look at while he's doing the audit, he's already, planning to go through everything, but if there's anything of special concern, do you wanna take any time and meet with him? Cause he's willing to come down and talk to you.
Well, I don't have any specific questions.
I don't have any specifics either, the only things that I would have questions on is that moving target we call fund balance.
Mm-hmm. He can talk to you about that if you want.
Bill, how do you feel about that? How do we identify, or do you have a grasp on that?
Well, I think I understand it.
Right,
He's auditing our books, right?
Yes, year-end close for 12/31/16.
Anything they can do to look at people that might handle cash or could alter cash transactions.
Mm-hmm.
We're assuming they do that as part of the audit, but
Yes.
it's always my concern that if there's an area where people can steal,
Mhm.
it's in one of those areas, and I would want to make sure that at least they make some attempt to look at that.
Yes, and he
I'm assuming
already,
they do.
yes, and he already has that on his schedule to look at, like, new systems that we have had in place, the changes that we've had with our credit cards. He will look at all of the cash
I'm just
control.
trying to prevent
Yep.
the situation that happened in Campton
Sure,
10 years ago or whatever.
yep, we can look at that.
Not that I have any reason to
No,
suspect anything.
no, sure,
okay,
but it is something he looks at.
all right, then let's skip around a little bit here. Why don't we sign that water and sewer bill we never signed?
Well, I think you signed it,
Okay,
just didn't get it. Didn't get out of Mark's folder.
I can read.
Hey, Timmy. Let's see.
Thank you.
Yeah. I got it. So this,
Tim just walked in, Bill, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk over and present Tim, who has been here how many years? 11 years.
Yeah.
His pin for 10 years of service plus one we owe you, so you get one on your 15. Thank you very much.
we have a new book, you can go.
Going to your play tonight.
Oh, super, we'll see you there. Really good.
All right, so we've got that, now what do we have to do? FY 2017 budget prep, what do we need to do on that, Mark?
Nothing, we have handed out the, budget hearing
Mhm.
packet.
Yep.
And I emailed that to all three of you.
Yep.
That is the information that we have at the post office, here at Town Hall. We've put it up on the website. We've, I think, maybe put a couple of copies at the rec so that people can look at it. If you have any comments or on additional material that you would like to have at the meeting, at the start of the meeting, just let me know and we'll have it ready for everybody. If there's anything you think we need to be ready to answer specific questions on,
Bill, have you had a
Ask
chance
away.
to review that package?
I have,
Yeah.
right now I have nothing
Okay,
yes, but,
Okay.
all right, so, any comments will come in, we'll direct through email.
Sure,
Can we
absolutely.
do that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great. All right, correspondence.
Yep, you have the email from Russ Hilliard, that he had seen Steve Doyon, who
Yeah.
is the head of the Dam Bureau. That's the guy that we met with, Mike.
Yeah.
And, he's, received our letter, Steve has, and they're gonna be talking, among the Dam Bureau folks about
Our letter.
how to respond.
Yep.
So at least we know it's in the works for DES, so.
So it could be years.
It could be years, so however,
Before we hear anything
however you
back.
want, yeah, however you
Let's
wanna
hope.
look at it. Yeah, we can only hope that
But
it's.
I really think that he did a good job with that letter. I think that letter has the proper tone
Mhm.
and, was well thought out, so.
Yep.
Okay,
And then we have, the notice from DES that well one, has been deactivated, in the DES system. So we no longer have to make any water quality tests or anything. It's been officially removed from our schedule. So that's good. That's good news. So that reduces the testing that we have to do. And then the final item in correspondence is the emails that have been going back and forth, with regard to the, leash law petition warrant article. I included in here, what I forwarded to town council. Town council responded back, with some comments about the, appropriateness of the wording that they wanted to use. We had a second meeting earlier this afternoon with Marilyn and the other ladies, and shared what town council has told them. They're gonna go back and look at their petition wording and determine how they wanna proceed. Right now, it looks like they're going to take the ordinance, right? And there is wording in the ordinance, and I walked away from my desk without it. There is wording in the ordinance, that says that you can have control, physical and
verbal.
or verbal.
right.
I think they're going to eliminate the or verbal to leave it just physical control.
Mhm.
That is the change. Otherwise, they're gonna leave the ordinance the way that it is.
Mhm.
So, that's their approach from what they told me. I have not received anything, but they know how they have to do the petition.
Mhm.
We're not involved with town staff is not involved with the wording.
Mhm.
And we've shared town council's concern. Now, one thing that town council did say is when they petition, because we are changing the ordinance, there is a requirement in state statute for the Board of Selectmen to hold a hearing, a public hearing. The public hearing has to be within 15 days of town meeting, so that would be no earlier than February 28th. Okay, so town council is recommending, even though the board is not recommending a change in the ordinance, that you hold that public hearing prior to town meeting. There is no vote that you have to take. If they meet the petition requirements, it's gonna be on the warrant. But that's, town council really would
And
prefer that you
that
hold.
would be for discussion during town meeting.
It's also gonna be for discussion at town meeting, but he's still recommending that you.
Right,
hold
but they're
a
not,
hearing.
but this isn't
This is
something
not a
people are gonna
ballot-
go, it's
no,
not gonna
this
be a
is
ballot
not a-
vote.
Voting before, this is part of the deliberative session.
Right,
So there will be discussion at town meeting also.
okay. And is there the possibility in the discussion that happens at town meeting for people to amend? the warrant article?
No, I don't believe you can amend it. I'll check on that to make sure, but I'm 99% sure that when it's a petition warrant article, it has to be voted on by the petition, as petition. So it's an up or down vote.
If they bring it, we have no choice.
Well, except that somebody could come in with another petition warrant article saying something different,
I understand
right?
what you're saying, but yes, no,
You can. Any petition warrant article has to be put on the warrant. There's,
As long as
we
it's
don't have any,
received by that
as long as
date.
They
they,
have the signatures yet?
as long, no, they did not have signatures today,
and
Bill.
let's make sure they're all people who live here.
They're gonna be reviewed by Reggie, that's a requirement, so she has to certify the signatures. And I shared, with them the fact that Reggie needs to be
They
able
have to
to
be
read
resident voters.
who is signing. So,
Yeah, the reason
And
I,
it's gotta be clear, they're signing a specific
Yep.
wording.
And they have been told that whatever the wording, whatever their warrant article, whatever they want to appear on the warrant, has to be on every page where there are
Right.
signatures,
Mhm.
or they will not be counted.
Now, I know the town council has responded to this, but the way that Marilyn laid this out, when I look at it, she defines the ordinance as public use is defined as all zones other than residential. I'm assuming by residential, she means both low density and high density residential, but I would be helpful if they were more, in fact, more specific.
Well, that,
And zones literally means that, in my interpretation, that a public road going through a zone would mean that it is going to a residential area is not subject to this ordinance. It is not public property. I mean, even though it's public property, it's in the residential zone. So I don't know what she wants to do, but that would be my interpretation of what this is. And likewise, this would regulate, basically on private property. This ordinance would be in effect even though it may not be accessible to the public. Because she's using the definition of zone,
right, so,
which is specific just chunks of land, acreage.
right, so that was why they went back, and what they're thinking about doing now is just removing the or verbal. They would leave the entire ordinance the way that it is,
Just change the line.
because under the state statute, our ordinance already applies to all public places, which includes private property that is open to public access, like Town Square or the golf course, or any place where the general public is allowed to walk. So,
They're going back to that definition.
well, they're leaving, because that's the definition as it currently is in our ordinance. And so they're leaving that.
And that says it must be kept on a leash.
And their amendment would mean that all of those places, the dog would have to be on a leash.
Well, it doesn't say on a leash, I guess the word in the original ordinance is under, physical control.
Well, that's right.
It doesn't, the word leash is not in there.
Okay.
All right, I would, let's stay very clear of that. You could hug your dog.
Go back to that definition.
You could hold your dog.
Yeah, but in a sense, if it doesn't say leash, I'm trying to stay as far away from this as possible.
Yeah, I think,
With this.
I think that that's part of what the public hearing is, we just need to be very clear as to, and get input from public safety and everything else, what this is going to mean, so that we are all very clear before a vote is taken.
Yeah.
What exactly town meeting is voting on. And I think that's why town council wants you guys to hold the public hearing, so all that can be discussed.
Holding a public hearing in this sense
That's
No.
correct,
No,
you
it-
can't. And even at that point in time, within 15 days of town meeting, they can't modify, the petitioners can't modify what's been turned in. They will already, they,
Public reading an explanation of what it means.
that's
It's really
correct,
not a public hearing in the sense that, out of that, people could, either yes or no at the town meeting, okay? No,
that's right.
no?
So, and I will verify that for you, whether or not you can make an amendment at town meeting, but I don't believe you can.
Yeah, I think that's worth checking, because we
Yep.
certainly can amend other warrant articles.
That's right. But because of the petition nature of this, I
Yeah.
don't know if you can.
But
Okay,
I think we ran into that the
I
last time.
think
is
we
it was-
did.
Because it's a petition warrant article, no changes can be made because all of the petitioners don't affirm those changes.
That's right, and we actually did go through that last time, because remember, the wording has to be exactly
Right.
what they submit, and they can't even amend, like a petitioner can't even amend it, because it's all of the petitioners that sign it are submitting it together. So that's what has to be voted on, but I will check again to make sure.
Yeah. okay.
Just remind me in the dog ordinance, Mark, is there something in there that says that, dogs that are prone to bad behavior, shall we say, snarling, baring of teeth, biting, et cetera, et cetera?
I think it has wording like that.
I think it
It's-
does have some wording in there already that says,
Judy, could you run upstairs and there's the dog trifold?
right,
It's in the petition warrant articles, minor grammatical changes can be made by the selectmen. Oh, now it's just going,
Okay.
the
Well,
connections aren't
I'll
going
check.
well,
I'll
yeah,
check with town council.
yeah.
yeah, because that overall is my main concern about people having dogs in public places, is that
Mhm.
they should not be
Right.
unfriendly dogs.
Sure.
Or dogs that are scaring children, or,
Yeah.
biting.
Right. Mhm. Yep.
Other dogs or people.
Well, so there are a lot of issues that are brought up. I mean, we still do not have a lot of reports of issues with the dogs. So our current ordinance, I know, it's mesmerizing, isn't it?
I know.
So,
What they're proposing, do they specify a penalty of any kind? No.
the ordinance, that, they're not changing what is in our current ordinance. There is a fine provision in here. So, it says that,
Hey, can I call you back? I'm in the middle of the selectmen's meeting. It's probably gonna be another 45 minutes. Right? All right, well, what they say, I'll just take them.
I think for the public hearing that we ought to have a good supply of these
Yes,
on
yes,
hand,
we will.
Mhm.
because this was very well done, I
Yeah.
thought, by the police.
Cool, all right. I will. Cool, right, right, but they wouldn't say what it was about. Okay. All right, I'll call back. All right, very good. Thank you, bye-bye. Sorry about that.
No
Yep, no problem. So they would be changing, at-large means not under the control of the owner by means of physical restraint, so as to control the conduct of such dog. So they would be removing the reference to the personal presence
Mhm,
and attention,
mhm.
right? So, so it would be by physical restraint, is what they were talking about. Again, we haven't seen. it.
Right, but it also gives the peace officers discretion.
Yeah, as far as an interpretation of physical restraint.
Exactly.
Now, whether they replace physical restraint with leash,
it'd be-
that's another
Yeah.
matter. But, did you hear what I said, Bill, and understand?
I think so.
Okay, well, we'll
Okay.
see what happens when they come in with the petition.
Yep.
And how many signatures do they need for this?
10.
Okay. All right, so we're down to privilege of the floor. Number 2, there is no one. Board concerns and directives. No?
Mike, I do have one item.
Okay,
Talk a little bit about the 50th anniversary dinner. I don't know. I'd be curious whether you, Mike, and Margaret, whether you're getting a lot of feedback that people are confused as to why the town is sponsoring a dinner.
I haven't gotten that one.
No, I've gotten that from several.
They
I
did
will-
change
I would-
it on the website.
Yeah, we removed the reference to the town sponsoring the event, Bill. So
Okay.
if you look on the website now, it does not say, it just says the ski resort. And then, you know, in talking to the ski resort, I told them that the town will be running the Old Home Day
Mhm.
event in the summer. And that's gonna be our
Mhm.
event that we're gonna sponsor. So they, you know, Matt understood and he said he took it down and he did,
Mhm.
as far as I knew.
Yep.
Yeah. So, that's one
And you
thing.
filled
I
Ann
have.
White House, because apparently she at some point is getting questions about it, maybe she's not getting them anymore, that she knows that we're leaning towards recommending some kind of a home day event during the summer,
Yes,
and that it really has nothing to do with the town.
that's correct. That's correct. And I have sent the letters out to the folks that we identified at the last meeting. I've already heard back, Paul Levitt and Marcia are coming.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm waiting to hear back from Tom. Tom has talked to Jan Stearns about it, and I think he's leaning towards coming. So, but I haven't received anything back from him yet. And I haven't heard from Butch or Sally
Yep.
yet.
Right.
And your table should be.
I've
did
already,
Matt-
I've already bought a table.
Yeah, okay, cool.
They've got it, they can't even get this thing to appear on their website as a way to buy it. You have to call in and buy your tickets.
Right, I'm just,
Yeah,
I just want people to make sure that people in the town understand.
oh yeah, no, anyone who's asked me, but there hasn't been quite a lot of them asking me anymore about it.
Okay.
I think Ann's been filtering most of the calls.
Yeah, I went down and
Conversations.
talked to her about it and explained the Old Home Day thing to her and, you know, so hopefully we're getting the word out.
Okay,
Okay,
all right, let's go to Town of Waterville, New Hampshire Town Manager's Goals and Directives. Show my mark. All right. Bill, do you have the document in front of you?
I do,
Have you had any chance to look at it?
yes.
Any questions?
Well, it's just a question of emphasis, I think they're all in there. But to me, the most important thing is that we finish the current well, that we get well number 4 into service. And then we clearly identify what happened to well number 3.
Yep.
As
Yep.
well as the options for returning it to service. I'm interested in understanding of why well 3 failed. So, I think they're incorporated in these things, but to me, that's the most important thing we need to get, in my mind, that we need to get finished with for next year.
Right.
Okay.
I took this to be in order of importance.
Well, sort of, but,
Okay.
I mean, I can move them
Yeah.
around if you think that something's a higher priority than where I have it.
Well, I think definitely number 1 is right on the money as far as being the most important thing, getting this project done. Being said, it's exactly what Bill said, I don't have to reiterate that. Coordinated communication, the town reevaluation project, that of course is gonna be something major, because when people see people coming around, the questions that will arise from that.
And we have a very short time frame to do it, so I think that's gonna need a lot of emphasis in the spring.
The PSU thing, I think is a great idea, I think we should get that definitely moving forward to see if we can, get some interns in here and get some people who might be involved in town, wanna be involved in town government to do some of this. Put a best in study thing, if it comes together, if not, let's see what happens. if we have to do it on our own, if there's any way of doing things our own.
Yeah.
Town manager blog site, it's on blog site, website, article, forward wag, we see it every year on this list, we've never seen it come together, so, something to get together. All right, implement inventory control for town equipment, I didn't know,
You jumped over the pedestrian study.
right?
What's the thinking here? That we think this has actually got any prayer's chance of
I,
that getting approved?
yeah, I think the Our Town grant is probably one of the only grants that we've got a better than even chance of getting.
And what is the town's responsibility then? Let's assume that grant gets approved. What do we need, what is it that we have to do?
We have to administer the grant. We have to administer the expenditure of that $120,000.
And this is what? Building new trails and signs?
It's
And what?
Yeah, it's improvements of the
Signs and transportation, basically,
Signs
pedestrian and bike.
and the pedestrian and bike path primarily around Corcoran's Pond and up through to the rec department, and then the entrance sign to the valley, to the town.
That's what was in the grant application.
That's
Right.
what's
Yes.
in, and then the standardization of the signs around town, the public signs around town. Directional and all that.
And what's the time frame?
We have, it's 2 years from the awarding of the grant. And that'll probably be in the late summer, early fall of this year if we get it. Then we have 2 years to implement it. So
So
out
what's
to,
your thinking in terms of what, let's assume this again gets approved in the 1st of April. What would you expect to get done next year? All these things to be finished? Or-
No. no, I
We-
think,
As we've sat in the core group and what we've been looking at, Bill, is if we get the money, what are our next logical steps and how do we proceed with the steps? It would be to get the engineering and design and the actual cost to be done and with the help of the SE group, have them come in and tell us how we build from the center out and give us a cohesive look, which makes it much easier for a guest with no woodsman-like abilities to navigate our town and the nature that surrounds Corcoran Pond pretty much.
mhm.
So would it be fair to say that what you're doing is developing firm plans to actually carry out this grant in the following year?
Correct.
That's right.
You know, we also,
So
Really about it's developing detailed plans and estimates.
we
Right.
also, I think that one realistic goal for this year, if we get it by April, would be to look at the entrance to the town and start gathering public input on
Now-
what that looks like. Could we get it built? I guess it would be determined by,
It
can
sounds to me
you
like
get it?
that you really want to, and my question then becomes, we're putting the money into next year's budget, and we're gonna look like we're gonna spend much of it next year.
actually, we could, if we actually got, a lot of this work has been pre-done, the sign selection of the logos and where the signs need to go. There have been sign companies working on this for a couple of years, so we can actually go to them and go, this is the final scope, what's it gonna cost, and we can
Right.
get that made. As far as doing things like grading trails and moving trails around, the mountain is committed to help make the old fitness path around the back more bicycle friendly, so people can come out on there. We've talked more about moving, the Waterville company has talked about letting some land use be done to move people away from coming out of the front entrance of Town Square more safely on bicycles. So there's, a lot of this has been, this group meets once a month, so there's,
Well, I'm just trying to come up with what is our expectation here of what we're going to do next year? And do we have, we're appropriating the money now,
Yeah.
but do we anticipate spending the money in this year?
I don't think we would spend
No.
nearly any of it,
Is
really.
that in the
No.
capital?
It's in the capital.
Not a problem, that we don't spend it all right
It's,
now.
it's It's in
No,
the
it's not,
capital
it's in
plan.
capital bill. It would,
I understand, but
Yeah.
I just wanna make sure that you say, oh, no, you know, you can carry this over until
Yeah.
when it does get spent.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, so, yeah, that's a good question. I think we should answer that at town meeting too, and make sure people understand that the biggest thing for this year is getting people on board with the recommendations from the town core working group,
Right.
having a couple of public meetings and showing people what we actually wanna do. Everything has just been an estimate or a guess or whatever, we just need to communicate what's really gonna happen.
okay. Well, maybe you wanna reword that along those lines so that we're clear on, a little clearer as to what we
Okay.
would expect to happen next year.
Okay, I can do that. On 4, A, B, and C, I'll refine those. Yep.
Okay, on to 5, town manager blog site, develop
Yeah.
town.
What ideas do you have?
Well,
for-
there have been a couple of town managers in the state who have done academies.
Mhm.
So you could have Reggie come in and talk about town clerk items like DMV and
Mhm.
car registrations. We can talk about the voting process with the, how you become a voter in town, review those things, explain to people what makes up the town. I know it's riveting stuff, but, find a way to do it and talk about, the definition of fund balance and what that really is, and those sorts of things. There is some material that other town managers have used that I would make use of, and just have a couple of weeks of, a Wednesday night at 6 o'clock, have them come in and talk to them about it, answer questions. I mean, if you think that would be,
You gonna start tweeting?
I can tweet if you want, I understand that's working for somebody in the country, I don't know.
It'd be a
All
good
right,
access.
An inventory control plan, a new,
Well,
we have one that's,
No, we don't, and, I mean, this is a huge project, I don't, it would probably be lower on the priority list, but we don't, other than our vehicles and, our major end items, we don't have a real solid inventory control plan, and, that takes some effort. But I'd like to start talking to the department heads about it and figuring out ways to do it.
okay. Bid documents, all that stuff, well,
That's,
that's.
and then close out the USDA paperwork, I'll actually put that
That
under
should be a number 1.
Yep.
All right, improve capital planning infrastructure for water distribution, wastewater, roads, sidewalks.
Yep, that was something that came out of the planning board.
Okay. Support of the 50th
Oh,
anniversary. Yep. Assess programs, recycling, track continues, dumpsters, let's see, new signs on dumpsters, new voters, like to see that definitely. Corcoran's Pond, deal with as it comes along. Personal development, your stuff you do there, community stuff. Yep. Seems fine to me, how about you, Bill?
I'm okay.
Okay.
Just so that you hear from me, I continue to believe that we have a ways to go on the transfer station recycling.
Mhm.
There again, and it could just be me, there's just too many days I go down there and I can't, and everything is full. And I know we've talked about leaving it, until that runs better, I'm not giving up on this one.
Okay.
No, it's just me personally.
No, it's funny, I've had the opposite, I've had fairly good results.
But it's better.
But I think maybe I'm picking my time today.
Better if, I don't know whether it's our crew that's opening the front ends of those dumpsters,
It
Yeah.
is,
or whether it's citizens, but it does help to have the fronts of those open.
yeah, we're opening them while we're here, and Tim Rosewarne coming in on the weekends.
Yeah.
is helping because he's able to open them up, during the weekend use.
Great. All right,
Okay.
do we have anything for non-public? We don't. All right, so, Bill, anything else?
No,
All right, well, enjoy your time, and where are you, in Lexington?
I'm down in Lexington taking care of kitties.
And what's the weather like down there?
Funny.
Yeah, it's cold and raw up here again.
And, it's funny, it's, in the probably high 30s, well, somewhere around there.
Yeah, we just had another one of these days where we got about 5 minutes of sun.
Yeah.
That was about it. All right,
Well,
well,
Mark, when you're done, if you just hang on to the phone for a couple of seconds, I do have just a brief update on the River Road saga.
Okay,
oh, is
All
this
right.
something we need to know about, or you just guys?
yes, I talked to Jim about it and I can update you, so.
All right,
I think we're all set, other than my concern would be is, I'm assuming, and this would be prior to when we moved here, obviously,
Are we adjourned?
that there